as the word say, firewall. It is. I will try to summarize in simple words. It's just a wall protecting your infrastructure from the outer world. Basically, you get an interface to control from where your application will be accessed. So that is one thing. Then you get the access to the content of your application. For example, if you are sending a post request, what is being passed in that post request, so that content you can analyze. You can set up rules on top of that, and then you can do some redirection on top of that as well. For example, SSH normally it's port 20 to 20. Okay, normally you do an SSH, it's port 20, but for some reason you have to give an access to the developer who is working remotely. You don't want to give them the direct access over the port 22. You do a netting there. Netting means network address translation. So this port 22, you map it to 465, some random port.
Yeah.
Okay? So now when he is doing an SSH, he will enter an custom port like with 2 colons 465. It will come to firewall, and then firewall knows 465 means 22, and then you can do rules there. Like if I'm getting like public port is this one, then then this means I can redirect is to the like this IP of this which server, that the private IP of this. So like just from the broadest aspect, your spokes, your servers, they are not directly exposed to the internet. Everything that is coming, it's coming at the firewall, and then at firewall you have multiple rules. Like if I'm getting traffic at port number 465, I have to go to the server 1. If I'm getting a traffic at 462, then I have to go to the server 2. So now you have a segregation. For example, your front-end developers or the customers from Pakistan, they are going to one server. Then the customers from another region, like if they are coming from there, they are going to another region as well. Then you can do blocking as well. For example, you don't want to, you simply want to, just like the example I've given, you want to revoke the access of SSH. So you can simply just click there, SSH access is gone. Then you can do whitelisting on top of that as well. For example, the static IP of your developer, you can use that IP. If someone is requesting an SSH over from that IP only, then he is allowed for the SSH access. Else, no one then you give then that is an added security. Then again, that is just tip of the iceberg. Then there are other you can go for a whole network IP tracing there, the network tracing there as well. The complexity. Then there the cyber security departments come in. But from the general view, what firewall is being used, that is the tip of the iceberg, how it is being utilized. Then you can use it with other service as well. You can use WAF, that basically firewall will give you the access to protection at the port level, network level. Then you have an application where you have web URLs /login, /logout. So if you want a protection on those URLs, then you will use an application gateway or web application firewall there. So your application level firewall is going to that will give you an additional added layer on top of that. Then you come toward your compute. It can be a Kubernetes cluster, it can be a virtual machine, it can be mostly it's Linux, a Kubernetes cluster or a virtual machine. Then the hardening of that particular server or that particular node will jump in. For example, there are if you're using Nginx, then there are some best practices on a daily basis, which that is the reason they always push the new patches with the security updates. You should, and they tell you that this was the vulnerability found in the previous version, so you should upgrade. Then if you are going into the production environment, you should disable all the debugs, all the developer modes that you are using. So there is no vulnerability from that point as well.
We were talking about firewall and the rules in it, and you provided a lot of you talked a lot about what's happening inside that. That's really good. Now my question is, what parameters should I look for when I am selecting an infrastructure provider, a cloud provider, in terms of security? What are the key factors that will tell me, okay, I should buy infrastructure from this vendor and not from this?
Okay. Now, JFK raised a good point regarding the security. Like, to summarize, whether to do it yourself or go for a pre-managed like platform. Okay. So first thing is the complexity of the project. Because if you are managing the security end to end, this means you have a complex project, your budget is high, you have an in-house security team who is doing the application testing, who is doing the penetration testing, who is giving you a feedback. Because if I'm creating an infrastructure and no one is giving a feedback and I'm saying it's like perfect, it's like big, like it's beyond amazing, it doesn't make sense. You have to do an security testing there. So if you have some complex project, you have the luxury of time, you have the budget, then you can go for this. But if you are talking about low code, no code, or like some managed services, like there are some like vendors who are providing a WordPress based deployment. So when you go select these, they will give you an cheaper price, and then you can look at the specs of these. Are they providing you WAF? Are they providing with your DDoS? Are they providing with you the front doors security as well? So these are like basically like these like then you give you access to the firewall as well. Can you do some tweaking on top of that as well? So these vendors, they already have this thing available on their websites. In their basic tiers, they might not be giving this thing. But if you go for their premium tiers, their security will be increased. So it's entirely depends upon the nature. Because if you talk about, let's say, firewall in Azure, it's around $1,000 service per month. If you talk about DDoS, it's dedicated DDoS for network. It's around $3,000 service per month. So if you are just if you have a very small application where you are just managing your WordPress application, it doesn't make sense to go for like your application is running on a one virtual machine and you are paying around 4,000 for the security. It doesn't make sense. That thing, in that scenario, you can simply go for any good tool. Any, like if you talk about the websites, Hostinger is there. There are some other vendors as well. You can do an analysis between them. You can set up calls between their sales team, technical team, understand them, like understand the like how they're doing this thing. And definitely they are going, if you ask about the security, they will give you certifications. They will assure you, to give you the right material. So then you can pick and choose which one with respect to the cost is the best one for you. But if you have some complex application in which, again, if you have that complex application, it means you have those customers who are willing to pay these kind of revenue. So so again, then you can opt for that. One good thing, if you talk about this complex application as well, let's say you are an organization, you are a ministry or something like that. You are managing your infrastructure on the cloud. You can share these security components. So for example, if you are opting for DDoS, it's not that for every single application, for your mobile application, there is some product for the mobile application, some product for the web app, some for marketing, some for retail stores. So for every single product, you have to bring in like the security components again and again. Here, there is a hub spoke architecture. Hub means all of your traffic will come on the hub. So that is the central security layer. You can share these security resources. So when you look at the overall security utilization, security budget, it will get distributed in all the departments. So when you divide with that, you will get a very nominal amount. But that luxury, only the bigger clients, bigger like these bigger customers, they have that luxury. If you are just starting up with your own like small website, then the easy option is go with the vendors. Simply do a cost analysis there and simply pick this.